Hello and welcome to the e-module on telephone handling. Let's take a look at the learning objectives of this e-module. At the end of the e-module, you will be able to know what is a help desk, understand what is a help desk executive and what is his role, describe basic telephone etiquettes while answering a phone call, taking messages and handling complaint calls. Learn the service levels to be maintained while answering a call. Discuss the impact on business when the phone call is handled in a proper manner. Know what are the standard phrases to be followed. In our day-to-day life, we encounter customer care or help desk executives on a frequent basis. Whether it is a mobile bill-related query from our telecom operator or a return request from an online purchase, help desk executives play an important role in an organization. To understand better, let's have a look at what a help desk is and what are the functions of a help desk executive. A help desk is a place within an organization or company where people can call in to get help, information, or support related to the services or products offered by the organization or company. Thus, the help desk may be managed by just one person with a phone number or a group of people depending on how big or small the company is. Now that we know what is a help desk, let's now know the need of having a help desk. The purpose of the help desk is usually to troubleshoot problems or provide guidance about products such as computers, electronic equipment, food, apparel or software, etc. A help desk executive is responsible to handle the problems that the customers call him for. A facilities help desk is set up or established for handling complaints or requests related to the services provided. In larger companies, the help desk is handled by a group of executives called as the customer support executives. They use a software to help track the status of problems and other special software to analyze the problems. Let's now learn the main task and responsibilities of help desk staff. The job at the help desk varies depending on the organization and overall systems environment. The main tasks and responsibilities of a help desk staff may include the following. Respond to requests or complaints for assistance in person, via phone, electronically. Redirect problems to correct resource and advise user on appropriate actions. Follow standard help desk procedures. Log all help desk interactions. Administer help desk software. Identify and escalate situations requiring urgent attention. Track and route problems and requests and document resolutions. Prepare activity reports. Inform management of recurring problems. Stay current with system information, changes and updates. As you know, no business can function and flourish without using a telephone in office. For all businesses, the telephone plays a major part in daily operations. The primary task of the help desk executives is to handle the telephone calls. They are also valuable in that they open a door of communication with customers by allowing them to contact the business at any time during its hours of operation via the help desk. They must understand that how they interact with clients and business associates over the phone will either portray them in a positive light or a negative one. In the hands of a poorly trained employee, manager or business owner, telephone use can have an extreme negative effect on the business. To further understand the importance of voice communications, let us take a close look at the results of a study conducted by Albert Mehrabian. To demonstrate the importance of voice over the telephone for effective communication, Albert Mehrabian developed a communication model. According to Albert Mehrabian communication model, only 7% of our communication consists of the literal content of the message. The use of voice, such as tone, intonation and volume, takes up 38%. 55% of communication consists of body language. Thus, this indicates that according to this model, when we speak on a phone, we do not have the 55% of body language to communicate. Thus, to compensate, we should learn proper telephone etiquettes to convey the right message across a telephone. A desk agent needs to develop and be proficient in call handling skills. It is a process from start to finish of greeting a customer or caller, troubleshooting, diagnosing an issue, providing an effective resolution, and saying goodbye to the customer. The telephone is a vital medium of communication for the help desk staff. It is important to present a professional image, both in person and on the telephone, as it is important in the office skills profession, especially for help desk. The desk agent who handles the telephone should make sure to have adequate knowledge on how to handle the company's office phone system and master it. They also need to follow a set of rules and regulations while interacting with other people over the phone, known as telephone etiquettes. It is important to follow the basic telephone etiquettes, as the voice plays a very important role in creating an impression of personality as well as the nature of job we are engaged in. Now let us understand what are the do's and don'ts that you should follow while making or answering a telephone call. First, let's talk about what you should do. Do's. Always answer the phone within first 3 rings so that the customer doesn't have to wait for a long time. Once the phone is answered, politely tell the customer your name. Always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening when you answer the phone. Thank them for calling and ask them how can you help them today. You must control the tone, rate of speech, pitch of voice while talking. Listen carefully what the customer is speaking. Always speak with confidence, as this will help the customer feel confident about you. Project a certain level of intelligence so as to meet each caller at their individual levels of understanding or education. This may also require a knowledge of different language skills, including both local and global languages. Adhere to the English language as it is considered as the universal language. Speak clearly and with clarity so that the caller can hear and comprehend what is being said in a clear manner. Always frame your thoughts considering that you're talking to a person and not to the phone. Try to be positive, honest, and tactful about any situation when handling a call. Provide appropriate solutions for the problems faced by the customer. Always return calls in a timely manner. Remember to always stick to the point and try to frame your answer in a sequence so as to ensure that the customer is not confused. Along with the given steps, there are some important things that you should avoid while making or answering a telephone call. Don'ts. Don't allow interruptions during conversations. If someone else demands your attention in between, interrupt the conversation by saying, "Please excuse me for a moment, I'll be right back." On returning back to the caller, always say, "Thank you for holding." Do not mix languages while speaking. Never shout on the phone. Do not waste time. Be precise and always inform the caller of the action items at the end of the call. Before you start answering the phone calls, it's important to know its intricacies. While handling telephone calls, the person giving the information is called the sender and the second party is the recipient. Telephone handlers are classified into 3 types. Caller, the person who makes the call. Receiver, the person who picks up the call. Callee, for whom the call is meant. We will look at the functions of each of the given telephone handlers. Among these, the phrases and actions of the receiver are the most important. Now, Let's look at the best way of answering a call. Answer calls promptly by the second or third ring. Smile as you pick up the phone. Assume your telephone voice, controlling your volume and speed. Project a tone that is enthusiastic, natural, attentive, and respectful. Greet the caller and identify yourself and your company or department or unit. Ask, "To whom am I speaking?" Ask, "How may I help you?" There are also important etiquettes to be followed while answering a call. They are: focus your entire attention on the caller. You must be clear and precise while talking. Always use simple English and avoid unnecessary jargon and acronyms. Use action verbs wherever necessary. Use the caller's name during the conversation. Speak calmly and use natural words. Use all of your listening skills. Focus your full attention on the caller and the conversation. Listen between the words. Use reflective or active listening to clarify and check for understanding. If there is a problem, project a tone that is concerned, empathetic, and apologetic. While answering calls, one should also avoid the 5 forbidden phrases. They are: never use "I don't know." Instead, say, "That is a good question. Let me find out for you." Or offer to connect the caller with someone who could provide the answer. If a call involves some research, assure the person that you will call back by a specific time. But if you do not find a solution within the timeline, then you will say, "I don't have an answer yet, but I'm still researching it." Never say, "I can't do that." Always say, "This is what I can do." Never use a term, "You will have to." You can say, "You will need to," or "I need you to," or "Here's how we can help you." Never use a term "no." Always find a way to state the situation positively. You can use a methodology called as leaps with the emotional caller who is frustrated and venting his frustration at you. In leaps, L is listen. Allow the caller to vent. E. Empathize and acknowledge the person's feelings. A. Apologize when appropriate. P. Be positive. S. Solve issues. Suggest or generate solutions that are agreeable to all the parties concerned. Now, after you are done dealing with the customer, it is very important to end the call well. Always remember following points when you conclude a call. End the conversation with agreement on what is to happen next and arrive at the action items. If you are to follow up, do so immediately. Thank the caller for calling. Invite the caller to call again if he's not satisfied. Many times you would have faced a situation wherein you need to take down messages for your future reference, or you need to consult a senior before you reply. So, let us take a look at the process of taking down messages in a proper manner so as to avoid missing anything important while doing so. They are as follows. Always keep a pad, pen or pencil ready to receive any messages. While writing any message, write down the important points of information in clear handwriting so that you can understand next time. Identify yourself and for whom you are answering the phone. Practice political sensitivity. Indicate the period of time the person will be unavailable. Following is the information that needs to be included while taking the messages. Date and time of the message. The name of the caller. Ask for spelling if unclear. Reason for calling. The correct telephone number and or extension including the area code of the caller. The message. Ask for clarification if necessary. Read back what you've written to be sure you've understood the message correctly. Always assure the person that you will deliver the message promptly. Finally, you should deliver the message on time to the respective person. Many times, customers are frustrated and in irritated mood when they call the help desk to register complaints. It is important to handle them well so as to satisfy their queries and also help them build confidence on you. Most people will agree that handling complaining customers is a tricky business. It is important to keep balance on the usual business of handling, mitigating, and resolving complaints, and also the fact that there are difficult customers who constantly sap all your time. Complaining customers consume all your time and enthusiasm, which means that you have fewer resources for those who can actually make a difference to the business. Complaining customers also present you an opportunity to turn things around and set things right. Now we will have a look at few tips on how to handle complaint calls. When you handle complaint calls, it is very important to try and understand how the complainant is feeling. You should always apologize and acknowledge the problem. You don't have to agree with the caller, but express regret that there is a problem. People want to be heard, and no one's complaint is trivial. So, do not deal with it in that manner. Always accept the responsibility and make sure that something is done about it. Most of the times, customers want the reassurance about something will be done soon. People want to be helped and they want to know that you care. So, use phrases like, "How can I help you? What can I do for you?" Or, "I'll make sure this message or information gets to the right person." You can adopt an EAR method to deal with complaint callers. Try the EAR method, where E stands for empathize with the caller, A stands for apologize, R stands for responsibility that you will do something. Here are some of the best practices of handling complaints. As a help desk executive, you must accept responsibility, which may be as simple as forwarding the call to the appropriate individual or sending the caller more information. It is also your responsibility to follow up with that person to make sure the caller was taken care of. In case of an irate caller, don't overreact, especially if the caller starts using trigger words or phrases. Most people respond by getting defensive when their hot button words are pressed. Always remember, a positive attitude is the most important asset you have in such times. Listen attentively and allow the caller the opportunity to vent out. While listening, don't try to apply logic to the situation. Accept the feelings being expressed and avoid argument and criticism. Do not blame anyone, the caller, yourself, or someone on your staff. Even if you know who is to blame for a problem, the information should not be shared with the caller. Paraphrase the caller's comments and ask questions. Restate the problem as you understand it. Offer appropriate solutions and alternatives. Providing alternatives empowers the callers, making them feel that they were not dictated to and that they were part of the solution. It is also important to confirm the solution with the caller. Make sure the caller agrees with what has been decided. Remember that it is not practically possible to make everyone happy, no matter what you do. There will always be some customers who want to talk to your superiors. If that can help to resolve the issue, then you must do so. Most of the times, the customer becomes calm by the time the call is being transferred to your superior. After lodging a complaint, it is difficult to ascertain the time duration in which it will get resolved. So, it is important to have a predefined service level agreement, that is SLA, for handling different types of problems. All phone calls must be answered within stipulated time. All calls must be handled promptly, pleasantly, and efficiently. Ensure that all telephone calls are effectively closed. The information provided should be relevant and accurate. It is necessary that a positive attitude is presented through phone calls. The status update of all requests or complaints and their resolution should be maintained properly. The lack of etiquette in phone calls can result in unhappy customers and possible loss in business. On the other hand, the proper etiquette through phones can reduce time spent on phones and increase efficiency of the organization. Let us now learn about the standard phrases which are used during a telephone conversation. We will learn this topic by a live scenario.
Meet Cindy. Cindy is a help desk executive. She will tell you the best practices about answering a phone call and how to approach each situation. Let's see what Cindy does when the phone rings. When the phone rings, always have a pen and pad ready in your hand. Pick up the phone with your wrong hand. Answer the call within 3 rings. Let's see what Cindy does when picking up the phone.
Good morning. I'm Cindy from Helpdesk. How may I help you?
Let's see what Cindy does when there is no reply from the other side.
Good morning. I'm Cindy from Helpdesk. How may I help you?
Greet the customer for 2 more times with an interval of 2 to 3 seconds and then disconnect if there is still no response.
Good morning. I'm Cindy from Helpdesk. How may I help you? Good morning. I'm Cindy from Helpdesk. How may I help you? I cannot hear your voice, hence I'm disconnecting the phone.
Let's see what Cindy does when 2 phones ring at the same time.
Good morning. Cindy speaking. Kindly hold on. Good morning. Cindy speaking. Kindly hold on. Sorry to keep you on hold. How may I help you? Okay. Thank you. Sorry to keep you on hold. How may I help you? Yes. Kindly hold on. Good morning. Cindy speaking. Kindly hold on. Sorry to keep you on hold. How may I help you?
Let's see what Cindy does when the call is for her.
This is Cindy speaking. How may I help you?
Let's see what Cindy does when Collie is next to her.
Kindly speak on.
I want to talk to Alex.
Certainly, sir. I'm transferring your call to Alex.
Cindy knows where the Collie is. Cindy don't know where the Collie is inside the premises.
May I put you on hold while I locate Alex?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir.
If the caller says yes,
Yeah, can I find Alex there? Is Alex there? Thank you. I'm still paging for him. Would you still like to hold on?
If the caller says yes,
Yes. Is Alex there? Thank you. Can I please talk to Alex? Thank you. I'm still paging for him. Would you still like to hold on?
if the caller says no,
Sir, do you have any message for him?
if the callee is not in the office but has gone out of the office,
Sir, Alex has gone out of the office and will be back at 4 p.m.
if callee is on leave,
Sir, Alex is on leave today and will be back tomorrow.
if callee not in the office,
Alex is not in the office at the moment.
if callee has left the organization,
Sir, Alex is not working with us anymore. May I take a message?
let's see what Cindy does if the callee wants you to find out who is calling.
Who shall I say is calling?
I'm David.
I'm transferring your call to Alex. Hi Alex, there's a call for you from Mr. David.
Let's see what Cindy does to take a message.
If you leave your name and contact number, I shall ask Mr. Alex to call you back.
If the caller says yes,
Okay.
May I have your name, please?
when the caller gives the name,
I'm David.
May I have your contact number, please, Mr. David?
if Cindy cannot understand the name,
Sir, could you please spell out your name for me? D-A-V-I-D.
if Cindy cannot understand the alphabet,
Is it D for door and V for van?
let's see what Cindy does while taking down the number.
16734567.
Once the name and number are noted down,
Is there anything else you would like me to convey?
once the above message is also noted down,
Mr. David, I shall ask Mr. Alex to call you back at +1 673 4567 regarding your work.
Cindy repeating the message.
Mr. David, I shall ask Mr. Alex to call you back at +1 673 4567 regarding your work. Thank you for calling, Mr. David. Have a nice evening. Now that you have seen a scenario, let's now see what are the best practices to follow as a telephone caller. Always be patient while calling. Always be clear and precise in giving your message. Always talk in the right pitch so as not to be loud or too mild. You should call back again if the receiver cannot hear you properly, even after you speak loudly. While making an internal call, if the phone is not picked up in 3 rings, disconnect and call back later. Now, let's also look at the best practices for the telephone callee. Always give your location to the operator and to your office when you move out of the office. It is a best practice to return the calls if you receive a message on your mobile phone or answering machine. Congratulations! You have now completed this e-module on telephone handling. In this e-module, you learned the following. What is a help desk and what is the role of a help desk executive? What are the telephone etiquettes to follow? What are the best practices to follow while handling customer complaints on telephone call? Why is there a need to have a service level agreement for any customer call or complaint? How does the proper handling of customer complaints impact the business? What are the standard phrases to be used?